I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I'm being knocked off with the sounds that's coming on when I try to record now. I'm going to do this again and see if it goes. Um, I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin. Later in 1983, when I ran in a campaign to replace a Congressman, Dr. Larry McDonald, I was phoned out to Larry Flint's, who had been shot in a shooting that was mind control. The person was programmed in Lawrenceville, Georgia, in 78. Anyway, I'm going to skip. It's been a life of hell. I found out my real name and kidnapping and running the campaign and tried to write about medical malpractice and the use of mind control. I want to show this. This is, I've been kept homeless and almost penniless. And I wanted to show this. I'm live, and I'm going to say it again. But this has been ongoing. The letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, said ongoing investigation, national security involved. So I really have lived in hell. But I'm going to show these bats. They're bed. Start out, I thought it was bed bugs, but it turns out that now it's also scabies. So I'm just going to say this: the Patels and Shaws. The Patels, I was told, were sent over here to help me. Well, they've become wealthy. They own all the motels, the real estate. That is what's so lucrative to them, that it sits on up and down 81 in Troutville and into Roanoke, Virginia. And they have bought motels and opened them in Christiansburg next to Virginia Tech, etc. And they own just about all of them, I think, in Roanoke area. And they're in Charlottesville, North Carolina, and I don't know where else. But anyway, it's become quite lucrative for them. And they didn't help me. Believe me, there's a lot more to this. And I've tried to leave Virginia, but I've been run back here. So I guess this is where I'm supposed to be till I die, or somebody can help do something. Attorneys here won't touch it. They're afraid, or they don't care, because the Shaws and Patels go right up to now then they become friends. And I've put this up. A news clipping with us on it, friends of former governors like Mark Warner, who's now a senator, I believe, in Congress. And you've got Bob Goodlatte, who was over the Judicial, well, no, he's on the Judiciary Committee and the Intelligence Committee, the two highest. And so you got John Warner, ex-governor, now senator, and you've got Tim Kaine, who ran with Hillary Clinton for VP. And they did mention this when he was running with her, the Enzorings, that he was going to allow him to go home, and suddenly it was squashed. And he made the comment, well, don't you think we should let the Germans take care of it? This man is in prison, falsely accused, along with Elizabeth Haysom. Her parents were killed. They were students at Virginia Tech, University of Virginia in Charlottesville, when all this happened in 85, April, I believe, the 1st of 85. And anyway, that's all I have to say. What an insult to Enzorins. Well, anyway, Tim Kaine is ex-governor, and now he ran as VP with Hillary. So you get how high up this all goes, and why I can't get an attorney, So part of it, and most of it's who I am, what's been done to me, who my dad is, and my kidnapping. I want to show this, though, because I was at the Knight's Inn on it changed its name while I was there. Went there November the 9th of this past year, 2016. I was promised an apartment at Richfield, and it looks like that's fallen through now. And I was told they don't want to hear, everybody around here knows what's being done to me. I'm kept homeless and penniless, but and why I've had to move from place to place. And it looks bad for me. If you don't give the background, then you don't know. You're looking at a report or something, and it just looks bad. I paid my rent on time every time, and and nothing like that, but the fact that I'm moving. And so anyway, I stayed there at the Night's Inn, and they moved me like 4 times, I believe. And they soaked the carpet. The pest control would he'd come in. He came in about every month while I was there, and he soaked the carpet in whichever apartment I was in. And he told me he didn't know what he was spraying for. Well, it was like mites would come out of the carpet when he'd sprayed, so you couldn't see them. They'd just be over you and bite you. So now then, I found out about, I don't know, maybe a month ago now, that it was it's scabies, and I had pictures of bed bugs and there, and in the pictures of the scabies I have. So I've been to urgent care once and to my own associate with my primary care, who said it's scabies, and she laughed, because I told her, I said, well, I've just moved now. I moved next door to Super 8, which I'd stayed at a few times over the years, which is a nicer hotel, still owned by the same people, or people from India. And so I moved there. It was right next door, and the doctor laughed. Well, kinda, not really. She said they didn't take the mattress with them, did they? So you can make out of that what you want. In other words, you have to be able to control your environment, which I've been kept from doing. Like the motels that I've stayed at are furnished, and I can't wash and dry things, and you can't spray the bedding at a motel. And there's another story behind where I've been able to get, I'm trying to see if this is going up, to get HUD, low-income housing. I've gotten that at Edinburgh, and I'm going to mention the name of this in case this is ever brought to court. Joseph's Dream in Bedford County, Virginia. And there's a black minister out of Washington, North Carolina that owns those, but he's got a whole bunch of those, and that's federally funded. They're low income. So I can get and tell you some horror stories, and people would like to think, oh, this really can't happen. Oh, yes, it's happened, and it's happening. So I was denied, and I've done nothing. I have not broken the law, anything. The law enforcement's involved in all this, and they get things on people. Everybody's got something to hide. And I've been putting this up on YouTube and Facebook for quite a few years now, with documents to prove it. And so I moved from the Night's Inn to Super 8, went to the doctor because it's so bad. The first night I got at Super 8, I thought this can't be real because it was so bad then. I thought maybe it'd be better for the night. And then I stayed there 3 nights. They moved me to another room. And then he moved me to another room, and same thing. And so I've paid a bit of money out by now. I had a couple of nights, 3 nights free there, reward points. And what should have been halfway nice was a disaster, and they were not nice, okay? So then I stayed there till Wednesday the 12th of this month, okay? And I came over to where I'm at now, and I'm not going to say the name. It gets into a catastrophe. But anyway, the day after I got here, the lady called me and asked would I like fresh linen and a fresh blanket, and I was so thankful because that night I was eaten up. So they could say, well, I brought it with me. So I'm not, when I moved from the last 2 Super 8 up here, so they can't deny what happened at the Night's Inn. So I'm not an attorney. I don't know how it goes. I've taken pictures all along and put them up in YouTubes to put up. At least I can take pictures of this, whatever good it does me. But right now, this is the day after Easter, and they knocked my last videos. Couldn't get them up, so I'm going to try putting this up. It cut out when I tried to say something and block it. But anyway, here are the, this is about 12:30 at night, and I've used the medicine, which you've got to make sure your mattress and everything's clean. And here is part of it, and I hope I don't show any body parts. So this is all over me. My back, I can't even photograph that. So I'm gonna go.